Welcome to the web conference. So, how will this conference work? This conference is 15 minutes. It will also be recorded. I recommend you open a new window with our Canvas course and the project module opened. You may participate via text, audio, or video. Please ask all of your questions in the chat box. You may ask a question when prompted. I'll be speaking to you via audio and video if connection speed allows, but everything I say I will type out in the chat box as well. So let's get started. First of all, what group are you in? You may click on the hyperlink in the chat box to determine what your new oceanography group is. Next, what does your group have to do? Please go to the weeks 11 through 14 Oceanography Field Trip Project module. You can navigate there by clicking on the Modules button in the left-hand side of your screen. Once there, click on the Oceanography Field Trip Project Instructions. Read this completely and carefully at your leisure. Essentially, what is it that you're going to do? In teams, you're going to design a virtual oceanography field trip experience adapted for a particular student with a hearing, learning, or visual disability of your choosing. Your field trip is virtual. That is, a disabled student could go on the field trip that you design by following along with a narrated Google Earth tour, a digital route map, and a digital field trip guide pamphlet. Your completed field trip project should be adapted for your group's chosen student disability. Should virtually transport a student along a field trip route with 4 stops where an oceanography feature can be observed and include 1. An accessible field trip pamphlet guide, 2. An accessible field trip route map, 3. A narrated Google Earth video URL that transports a student to the 4 locations with the unique oceanography features. So let's take a look at a checklist of all the items you must complete for the group project. First, submit your group contract and also sign up for a disability profile. Next, you'll be completing your draft pamphlet, map, and Google Earth tours for peer review. The following Monday, you'll complete your peer reviews of the pamphlet, map, and Google Earth tour. Then the following Monday, you'll submit the final draft of all products as well as your peer collaboration survey. So on your field trip, which of the 4 stops cover? You need to have at least 4 stops where you highlight an oceanography feature that can be observed. This may include any of the content from our textbook or class discussions. How do you know what disability your virtual field trip should be adapted for? First, your group must sign up for an existing disability profile. Then you should conduct some additional research to find out how best to adapt your field trip guide, digital route map, and Google Earth field trip for the particular disability that you chose. You might be wondering how on earth are you going to be creating a Google Earth tour? There's a tour tutorial to learn how to create a tour in your field trip guide instructions. You're going to use your complete Google tour and a free screencast online program, Screencast-O-Matic, to create a URL for a 3 to 5 minute screencast, which will compare and contrast verbally and show with a pointer the oceanography patterns. The Google Earth Field Trip Tour video URL should transport a student to the 4 locations with unique oceanography features. If you have a student who is low vision or is blind, you will want to provide a transcript or closed caption your tour. You can easily do so in YouTube. You now might be wondering, how are you going to create a digital field trip route map? You may use Google Earth or Google Map Maker to create an accessible field trip route map, including the field trip route, title, caption, north arrow, and scale bar in an 8.5 by 11 .doc or .pdf. You'll want to label each stop clearly on the map with unique place name and stops 1 through 4 clearly indicated. Finally, you might be wondering, how on earth are you going to create a field trip pamphlet? You're going to use a word processing program like Word or iWork and use a tri-fold pamphlet or brochure template. Your accessible field trip pamphlet guide should be 8.5 by 11 tri-fold pamphlet, double-sided, submitted to Canvas as a .doc or a .pdf. Then all you have to do is add a small route map, descriptions of the sphere, pattern and process at each of the stops, and pictures with captions and citations. Finally, how will your project be graded? The Field Trip Guide pamphlet, route map, and Google Earth Tour will each be assessed based on a simple rubric. You can find these rubrics in the submission areas for each. Please use them for reference. Any questions? Please ask them now in the chat box. Hui asks if the 4 stops need to be each close to one another. No, they don't. So seeing no other questions, let's move on. So what do you do now? What's your first step? First, message all your group members in Canvas. 2, read the project instructions carefully. And 3, begin working on your group contract. Next, what should you do if you arrive at a question about the project? First, reread the project instructions. The answer might be in there. 2, You can post in the Ask Here for Help discussion board. Or 3, you're welcome to message me in Canvas. Any questions, please ask these now in the chat box. I do have to leave to attend another virtual conference, but feel free to stay in this conference and even open up a private chat and talk to your teammates if you'd like. Any other last minute questions before I head out? Okay, I don't see any. Enjoy the project and take care. Bye-bye.